Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in into this video. This is Naturally Nyjah, where you will hear me talk about all things lifestyle and beauty. And for today, I really just wanted to talk about a life matter. And specifically, I wanted to share just some good gems, some things that have been in my heart and my spirit lately, and it's about success. And specifically about societal boundaries and societal pressure that can either be an asset to your success or a detriment to your success. My phone is going in and out of focus. I actually attempted to do a video previously and it was doing it, so I don't know if it's going to continue to go in and out of focus. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. We'll see. But again, thank you so much. So before I kind of get into the video, let me just do a couple plugs. If you are not following me on the various social media platforms, let me just go ahead and share with you where I am and where you can find me. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Naturally Nyjah. So go ahead and like and subscribe if you are watching me on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So today, like I said, I want to just really dive into like success and how people get to certain places in life. And this is really just something that came, like, not just came upon, but something that just solidified. I'm like, look, I need to go ahead and do my video for the week because I haven't done them in a couple weeks. But, you know, you're just kind of reading things, scrolling on social media, having conversations with people. And someone posted about how is it that certain people can afford, you know, houses and, you know, just lifestyle. Let's just say how certain people can have a quote unquote lavish lifestyle. You know, they seem to be a typical ordinary person. We're not talking about like the ultra rich. And when I say ultra rich, I mean like high millions into billions, right? So I'm not speaking of that because that to me is like specific and methodical depending on what it is that they're doing, but more of like 6- and 7-figure income earners. And you know, the question was just kind of like, well, what do these people do to make that amount of money and to have that certain lifestyle? And I always go back to like the core and the root of things when I'm pondering and when God is like really talking to me. He's like, well, let's go back. You know, sometimes you need to go all the way back to childhood, you know, or early adulthood. And a lot of times I think we can put pressure on ourselves, or we can allow pressure to be placed on us based upon what people have told us about ourselves, whether it was positive or negative, you know, depending on the kind of home you grew up in, depending on if you had a very supportive parent or parents, depends on the kind of community and neighborhood you grew up in, depends on what kind of values and principles were placed on you, depending on, you know, if success is around you or lack of success is around you. It's so many different variables that tie into how successful one can be. But specifically today, when I talk about boundaries and what society can do, I'm talking about how you can allow other people to speak negatively into your life, and you take it and you don't do anything with it. So when you take it and you absorb it, it's like you're agreeing with it. You know, oftentimes I think about, you know, where I want to be, my goal setting, right? You know, I've learned over the years, you know, make vision boards, write your goals down, make short-term goals, you know, long-term goals, medium goals, you know, goals that can be acquired or attained in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you know, all of these different things, right? And then I take a roadmap. Okay, well, how are you going to get there? You know, all of these different things. And I'm at a point now, I'm pretty secure in what I know I want to do. I'm pretty secure in having like a roadmap. So it's to a point where, for the most part, naysayers really don't have any bearing on my success. But I can tell you probably 10, 15, 20 years ago, I was not as assured as I am today. And that's because over time I'm building layer upon layer. You know, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm hungry. You know, I'm taking what wisdom and knowledge and things that's being poured in. And I'll share with you just a few things that I've done recently that I can say has had a really big impact on my mindset, on my ability to believe in myself, and in my goal setting and my goal accomplishments, all of that. And I'll tell you, first of all, stop allowing people who have no vision, no real understanding of what success looks like, dictate to you what you can and cannot do in life. That's one thing I'll say. And sometimes, guys, it's people that we love. Sometimes it's people that we love. You know, it can be a parent. It can be a grandparent. It can be a sibling. It can be a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle. You know, people we love, but they just don't have that ability to really help you in that way. So you're going to have to limit what you allow that person or persons to pour into your life. And I'll tell you, many times they're not doing it from a place of, you know, hate or spite or I want you to not be successful. It's just what they know. You know, people say ignorant things all the time. It's just coming from what they know, what they hear. You know, I'll give you some examples. I'll hear people say, well, you know, this little low-paying job is better than no job. And that's true. But when people say something like that, it tells me that you're just basically happy with just any old kind of job. And for me now, what I know, I'm immediately casting that kind of mindset and spirit out. Like, that doesn't agree with what I believe. And for me, I'm literally like, no, you were put here on this earth for a specific purpose, and a specific plan was set out for your life. So you have to go about this life seeking and looking for what is it exactly that I'm supposed to be doing. And it probably is not this, whatever it is that you're doing right now. May or may not. I don't know. And, you know, you just have to surround yourself with people who think the same way that you think, or people who are in a position that you want to be in, whether it's success-wise, whether it's lifestyle-wise, whatever it may be. You have to be mindful of the company that you keep. Again, it may be people that you love and you care for dearly that you may have to put at arm's length. You may have to kind of, you know, I'm busy this weekend. I'm busy again. And it may, I'm going to tell you, I have gone through this myself. So I'm not sharing anything with you that I have not done myself. Now, because I've done it so long and I believe in it and I know and I'm assured and I'm comfortable and I'm confident in me, I can do it without hesitation and I don't feel any certain kind of way about it. But I can tell you, you're going to have to be very specific about what you allow into your spirit, into you. You know, that may mean you may have to forego playing and doing things on the weekend, and you may have to pour into your goals, pour into whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's getting out of debt, buying a house. You want your child to go to a specific school, so you want to save money. It doesn't matter. You want to buy a business. You want to create a business. You want to get you a side hustle. You want to get a new job. You want to go back to school. Whatever. So guess what? That means you're going to make sacrifices. I can tell you, number one, you're going to have to stop letting people in society and things around you impact whether or not you think you can achieve your goal. Excuse me. You know what I mean? That makes such a big difference. Like, now I get it and I understand it, and I'm so confident because this is what I believe in, and I've seen it work in my life many, 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 many times over. You know, another societal pressure, if you come from a certain neighborhood, if you look a certain way, if you're a certain gender, if you're a certain race, if you're out of all these different pressures and things that society will make you believe that you can't get there, you can't accomplish it if you fall into that category, right? If they can check a box and say you're this, this, and that. Again, a lot of times it's rooted back in childhood, early adult years. You have to be confident enough in yourself to say, you know what? don't really care what you say. I don't really care that no one else has done this before. I don't really care if I'm going to be the first black or the first whatever, first woman, what have you. It doesn't really matter, because if that's in your heart to do it, if God is saying this is what I want you to do, you pretty much have to just throw caution to the wind to anything that's contrary. That takes practice. That takes you doing this consistently. Again, when you have a goal, you have to be head first, tunnel vision when you're trying to get that goal. And I'm going to tell you, when you start putting these goals into, to paper and start saying them, you're going to have some negativity. You're going to have some barriers that come in and kind of want to see, are you going to stick with it, or are you going to stop and quit and give up when adversity comes in? And so, it's just a lot of different things that you have to be conscious of, and you have to understand can either be an asset to your success or detriment to your success. Again, societal pressures can be, you don't have enough money, you've never done this before, all these different things. Stop allowing negative naysayer comments, things of that nature, to have any bearing on you. That may mean you have to be a hermit, or your relationships with people will change. I can tell you from my own experience in the beginning, when I was changing, my life, and I was new to being married. I was new in my walk with God. I just, it was a lot of new things going on simultaneous for me. And so I would feel like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? Oh, I don't want to not do this. But God kept reminding me, this is a new person. You are a new creation. All those old things have passed away. That's not you anymore. That's not going to help you get to where I want you to be. So I can tell you from my own experience, I started, reading more books. I started being particular about the kind of books and types of things I poured into my spirit. I started spending more time meditating, spending time with God. I spent less time, doing things that weren't going to get me to the place that I wanted to be. I started being more conscientious on how much money I was spending on certain things. So it's not just time, it's your resources. I wanted to get to a place where I was confident in who I am. And that took time. And I can tell you, just listening to other people who are wise in my eyes, people, again, who are successful, who are living a life that I desire or I believe to be in line with what I want to do, I took a lot of their advice to heart. Some things I got right, some things I got wrong, but when you're wanting success in whatever area of life that you want it to be in, you have to be intentional and purposeful in everything that you do. Intentional and purposeful. If nothing else, understand that you have to stay on course with your goals. If you set a goal and you said, okay, this weekend I'm going to spend X amount of hours doing research. Or instead of on the weekend when I go spend money on whatever it is I spend money on, I'm going to take those resources and put it into this bank account or this pot of money that I have on the side for my business or for me to take a class, all of these things. And here's the other nugget too. You don't have to share everything that you're doing with people, especially when those people really are not where you want to be in life, or they haven't really hit a lot of goals and met a lot of goals and they're still kind of stagnant. They won't understand, and they're going to sometimes say things like, man, you reading again? You're not going out with us again? Oh, you doing this? They don't get it. They don't understand. Again, if you had to make up things, I've done a lot of, oh, I'm busy, because you just know they're not going to get it. It's not even worth explaining. It's not even worth your time. Another nugget, and then I'm going to close this video out shortly, is the societal pressures sometimes can make you take a step back and re-examine if you yourself have been allowing negative thoughts to come into your mind and you started repeating them. Because another thing is, if all you're being told is you're never amount to anything, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, you're going to be just like your mom, just like your dad, you don't amount to anything, you were a victim, you were in foster care, nobody in foster care ever got to this point, whatever it is, you just, all of those are just horrible things that really have no bearing on what you can accomplish in life. And for some of us, myself included, we have literally started believing that. So you have to give yourself permission to say, you know what? I don't believe it. I used to maybe say it. I used to believe it, but I know better now. And I am going to take the active steps to get where I want to be. I'm going to take the active steps to get my goals met. I'm going to do goal planning. I'm going to do mentoring, all these different things that you may need to do to get you to your point in life. But I'm going to share with you that be prepared for obstacles and different barriers to come, because I think it's part of the process, and it really is going to see what you are made of. If you really, 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 really want to get to that point, how are you going to deal with setbacks and barriers and obstacles? So again, these are just some things that I wanted to share that was on my heart today. Do not allow people to put barriers and, boundaries on your success based on what they feel like they know. You may have to make some drastic changes. You may have to make some subtle changes, but I can guarantee you, you are going to have to make changes. I cannot preface enough about the people and the company that you keep. God just keeps telling me to just kind of just sit there. I had a couple other things I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to, just for the sake of what I feel whoever is watching this may need to hear. You may need to change the company that you keep, whether it's your relatives, whether it's in-laws, whether it's co-workers, whether it's siblings, parents. You may have to put a little distance between you and that person or persons for a while. I can't tell you how long that's going to be. It really just depends. So those are the things I wanted to share. Again, thank you so much for tuning into this video today. If you are on YouTube watching this, please subscribe and like and comment and let me know if this has been a benefit or a blessing to you today. Again, this is Naturally Nyjah, and I thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.